Hello everyone. So today I'm going to show you how to start a drawing from scratch. Um, there's many different kinds of papers you can choose from, but lately I've been just loving this pastel mat by Clairefontaine. It's a rough surface, but it can take hundreds of layers of colored pencil. And I shouldn't say it's like rough, like sandpaper rough, but it's got a little bit of a rough surface to it. I don't think you can see it on here, but anyways, it's like a scratchy surface, but it's not too rough. Anyways, the first thing you want to do is you want to find a picture that you want to draw. And if you're going to be serious about drawing, you're going to want to pick a picture that is free. You want to make sure that there aren't any copyrights on these pictures that you use, but and that you can find hundreds and thousands of them on the internet. I have a bad habit of finding a picture that I want to draw and then downloading it and keeping it, and once a year I have to delete a bunch because I end up with literally thousands of pictures that I want to draw, and I'll never in my lifetime draw them all, but it's just kind of fun to pick them out. It's just like any other craft, any other type of artsy craftsy thing that you do. You have more fun shopping for the actual stuff than you do actually doing the work. So anyways, so the first thing you want to do is you want to find something that you really want to draw. And today I found this, I can't remember the guy's name, but I do have it written down so that when I do finish this piece, I can give them credit for the photograph. And that's another thing that's really important. You want to make sure you're giving the photographer the credit for the picture. Anyways, Pexels is a good one that you can find them on. There's so many, I can't even think of them all. Pexels is the one that I use the most. There are a couple of decent photographers that will give you free references. If you go on Facebook, they do have a free reference page that you can go to, and it has all their all the photographers' names on it and everything. But I found this one, and I just thought this was the cutest thing ever. I moved out of Minnesota, and everybody that is from Minnesota knows Minnesota is nothing but woods, and I miss the woods because they don't have woods in South Dakota. It's all fields and hills and meadows, and there's no trees. So I found this picture. This is what I'm gonna draw. He's a tree hugger. Isn't that the cutest ever? So I took the photograph, printed it off, and then that's what I'm going to use as my reference. And what I do is I always do a line art before I start anything else. And the reason I do the line art is because, number one, you get your proportions correct. It's not cheating. It's just a quicker way. Because, I mean, by the time you get done with your line drawing, doing it all freehand, you could have just gotten the exact same effect if you would have just did a line art from the photograph. So it's not cheating if you use a line art. It's not like you're using the picture mark by mark. It's just a simple line art. And this is my line art right here. You'll see. It's very faint. There's very few lines. It's basically just to get an idea of where the bear is, where the trees are, and that's all you need. You don't need anything else. If you're like me, it is an animal, and they do have funky fur. If you can see in the picture here, hang on a second, my paper's sliding off my table. If you can see here on the picture, the bear, I think he's wet. So you can see that some of the hair goes this way. It's just kind of all messed up. So that I did add a few lines just so I can keep track of the direction of the fur, but that's all you need to do. All right, and to transfer my line art to the pastel mat, which is really tricky because pastel mat marks really easy, but I bought this transfer paper. It's tracing paper for artists. It's called Serral. That's what it's called. It comes in a roll, just like a roll of tinfoil. And I got both black and white because sometimes I work on anthracite pastel mat, which is black or dark gray. So you need the white, and then of course if you're working on the white, you need the black. And then you just cut it to fit your piece of paper that you're working on. Very easy. And it doesn't, the thing about this Serral carbon paper is it's really easy to get the extra markings off of your pastel mat with just like a gummy eraser, you know, just a gummy eraser like this. These erasers work really good on pastel mat because all you gotta do is touch the pastel mat and it takes it right off. So you're gonna wanna have a gummy eraser. The other thing that I suggest you have is a little tiny brush. It can be just a paintbrush or a makeup brush, whatever you got that's really tiny like this. I just use a little filbert, little tiny filbert brush. That works really good. And then you want to make sure you have a really good pencil sharpener. I have a hand cranked X-Acto pencil sharpener. It's an old one, but it still works really good. But these little cum erasers, K-U-M, they're metal. These things work really good for getting a nice sharp point. And if you don't have a pinpoint pencil sharpener like that, there's also these. They're little sanding pads that you can buy at a local art store, or you can just make it yourself. Just get some fine sandpaper and staple it to a little piece of wood. And it works great for sharpening up your pencils. It also works really good for dusting the pencils so that you can get like a background. And then paper stumps. That's another really important thing to have, little paper stumps. And Q-tips. I have both regular Q-tips, just regular Q-tips, but I also bought these ones here at the art store. They're pinpointed, so they work really good if you're just touching up little tiny areas. That's another thing that you might want to get. And then you want to make sure that you get yourself some decent pencils. I do have the high grade artist pencils, light fast pencils. If you're going to be selling your artwork, you want to make sure that your pencils are light fast because they won't fade. They'll fade a little bit, but they won't fade as much, and they hold up a lot better. So your artwork will last for years and years, and you won't have to worry about them fading. So those are the supplies that I usually use. So the next part of this, I'll just show you how I pick my colors.